holders of XRP, after the sell-offs and liquidations in the history of the cryptocurrency market and possibly of humanity, are we on the verge of witnessing the largest market collapse in history? I'm not sure. Perhaps. Or if it's unquestionably the fastest, perhaps there have been more liquidations in the stock market. In terms of margin calls, but I'm not positive. But are we maybe anticipating a severe shortage that will end this weekend? We'll discuss that possibility as well as some speculations regarding what happened on that well-known Friday. We could even call it a Red Friday. You should give it a call. As usual, I would like to remind you that this movie is solely for your amusement. Always conduct your own research before making an investment. Since I have no idea what will happen on a daily basis, I will never advise you to buy, sell, or hold. I have no idea how it will respond. In fact, we're going to discuss Benjamin Cohen, whom I've brought up several times on the channel. Additionally, a few of you have been really harsh of him in the comments section. However, he gets this sell-off exactly right. Well, and even if you disagree with him, I believe he's worth listening to or following. I strive to present you with a variety of viewpoints because of this. Provide you with the ugly, the bad, and the excellent. You will disagree with me at times. I'm a genius, you'll say sometimes. Correct. Sometimes a little bit, you know. Well, in the present moment, however, we are at 237 for XRP. Bitcoin is still quite high at $111,000 today. The price of Ethereum is up 1.9% at 3,800. Solana is up 2%. Doge increased by 1.5%. The market is rebounding, but we aren't witnessing a rapid recovery. We have occasionally experienced large sell-offs in the past. This time, there was a quick recovery, but the liquidity needed for it was completely depleted. For that reason alone, it may occur a little bit longer than it did before. All right. In reality, though, shorts could be pinched. All right. We're hearing rumors that it's the reason for the recent Trump statement, and we'll discuss how it might be related to his remarks. However, Trump clarified that it wasn't the reason for the sell-off, although China seems to be easing its restrictions on recent rare earth exports. China currently claims that the new regulation does not completely prohibit exports. Applications that adhere to rules are open to more in-depth discussion and seek stability in the global supply chain and industry will be accepted. Export controls have virtually little relevant impact. This defense action is deemed required. China also states that if the U.S. continues to raise tariffs, they would ensure that they take action. On the other hand, we also say that China will not back down from tariffs. We're not scared of war, but we don't want to cry for it. You hear tranquil things on the one hand and somewhat violent things on the other. We kind of always see this coming from China and the United States. Additionally, we might be witnessing because of the large number of shorts that have accumulated here. This is a bit of a push. If it sounds like I'm talking a little slowly, it's because I'm still working on it. I still don't feel well. My sinuses are the main source of my discomfort, and my brain is functioning slowly. We'll see where we're going from here, and on Monday or Tuesday, I believe we'll have a little bit more direction, right? For the most part, the sell-off has stalled, but the forceful sale. But once more, we need purchasing pressure if we want the prices to recover aggressively as well. And traditionally, leverage positions have been a major source of that buying pressure. Perhaps a large portion of the money generated from shorting could be converted back into longs. That may happen. Once more, we observe that conversations did have a significant role in the events that transpired. They must also perform better. However, since we all know that leverage carries some risk, this was also a human error. Leverage carries some risk. We've saw this before, perhaps even when a massive wick was present, and where there was a sell-off approximately a year ago. The first missiles were launched toward Iran and Israel, along with a large wick. It's true that many people, even 3 eggs, were liquidated. These kinds of things do occur. After that, the market recovered. That wasn't the end of it. Correct. Therefore, keep in mind that such things are feasible. That day, I lost a lot of money, and I learned a lot from that about how to handle leverage trades in the future. Yes, but once more, anything might occur. For example, I've made a lot of money but also lost a lot of money on several occasions. Therefore, we must take that into account. And the market is currently seeing the consequences of that. It was insane. Many people are discussing how XRP fell to just 1.24 on social media. I was just looking at it when I discovered that SUI had dropped all the way to 56 cents on Bitcoin. Our colleague was just 84 when we looked into BitUnix here. Thus, it's intriguing. However, I don't think the market would cause another 50% sell-off like that, so these could be possibilities now. Perhaps this is the time to take advantage of the recovery. BitUnix is offering a $500 bonus if you're interested, and it's valid from this week until November 9th. This month. Additionally, there is a link in the explanation below if you're interested. I implore you to trade responsibly. Leverage can make you a lot of money, but it can also cost you a lot of money, as I mentioned earlier. Thus, exercise caution. Go over the user agreement. Examine the services and terms. Be aware that even the largest websites like as Coinbase and Binance may have experienced problems while using leverage like this. The servers weren't functioning properly. Everyone is simultaneously attempting to log on. I thought the market makers were failing. Keep in mind that there may not always be a buyer for a buy in a sell order. Correct. Thus, a market maker is required. That deal needs to be facilitated by someone. The market makers go down. As a result, there are very few single exchanges that were actually operating, either with their own internal market makers or with a third party. However, throughout that time, all exchanges were down for the most part. And once more, using exchanges entails danger, don't you? Nor your crypto, nor your keys, correct? That's just the way it is. All right, please keep that in mind and trade sensibly. I will receive a commission if you click on my links. So I'm grateful for that. We also have BTCC and Lowfin. The link is in the description below if you're interested. Once more, please trade sensibly and be aware of the risks associated with leverage as well as the potential for significant gains. All right. In every market, there are significant success stories in addition to the constant horror stories. That's the way it is. All right. Those who can pick themselves up, keep going, and get back on their feet. Well, because they know how to handle hardship, those are the folks that ultimately succeed. How will you lose if you can't handle a loss of $50,000 or $100,000? How will you handle losing $1 million from a portfolio worth $10 million if the market declines 10%? Isn't that rough? You must therefore view every encounter as a teaching opportunity and build from it. I appreciate you watching, and as I always say, let's make a lot of money. I hope to see you again soon.